G'day viewers, it's Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. Do you find body corps and real estates to be a hassle? Do you find is it really worthwhile? Well, in this video, I'm going to discuss the problems I've had with real estate and body corps. Now, real estates and body corps are valuable to businesses starting out and also experienced businesses. You can make quite a fair bit of money out of them. Now, a body corp, for those that don't know, it consists of a committee which is responsible for the running of a group of units or small houses in a particular estate, and it comes under the umbrella of a body corp. And they engage with the task of doing lots of things to run the place, like insurances and all those sort of things. But more importantly for us, the maintenance or the management of the maintenance of the grounds, the lawns and the gardens. So like with commercial properties, getting a opportunity to quote is very similar to your advertising campaign where you target body corps and real estates. Probably more over direct contact with them in as far as sending them information about your business, telling them about what you're about and your interest in that type of work, and you may get the opportunity to quote. Now, with body corps, I've had a few over my long journey. I've had quite a few, and quite frankly, I really had troubles with them. What the problem was, there were so many different managers. The committee might have consisted of 7 people, for example. 4 might have, went with you, and 3 went with someone else. So every time the contract would come up, and they would every 1 to 2 years, you would be in that situation where people change and you'd lose the contract. Now, although there'll be one person responsible to communicate with you to work out what's got to be done, there'll always be all these people in the estate that'll want extras, or they want this, or they want that. Oh, you didn't edge that properly, or you left a bit of grass behind. Always complaints. It drove me nuts, and I had to walk away with the body corps. Now, a friend of mine, he does them. He does very well. He's got some like 500 units in one of his places, and he makes an absolute killing. He's pretty hard-nosed, and he just tells them where to go if they talk to him. I'm probably too nice to do body corps, but look, they do take up a bit of time. The thing is with body corps, you've got to have procedures. You've got to have safety procedures that you've got to present to the committee so that you're compliant with you're occupational and safety compliant, insured. Well, that's obvious. So all these sort of things, and you've got to tell them visit times, when you're going to arrive, and all these aspects. So to me, the body corps, it just didn't work. Now later on, I'll talk about an extra one, which is schools, which will be of interest to you, but we'll leave that till last. The next one is real estate agent. Well, quite frankly, I cannot think of anyone else on the bottom of the barrel as real estate agents. Look, good people, I'm sure they are. They've got one thing, one priority, and that's to sell the property or lease the property out and make money. And they'll do it at anybody's expense, including your own. What I found the trouble, and again, this is my experience. Now, I know some people have probably had good luck with real estates. Me, personally, it's just been a nightmare. What they'll do, they'll ring you up the night before and say, listen, we've got an urgent job. It's going to be an urgent clean-up because the landlord is going to put a new tenant in. And they'll let you know at the last minute. If you decline the offer, well, you'll go back on the bottom of the barrel again. You've got to wait till you get up to the top before they call you for another job. The other thing is when you do work for them, and especially the rental properties, you might ask for rental cleanups. Well, they're pretty awful, actually. Pretty shocking jobs. And although they could be a good money earner, bottom of the barrel stuff, some of them. And the other thing is, if the money's not in the account, in other words, the tenant pays the rent, and from that rent, it goes into a trust account, and then that's allocated out to all the bills. Pay the rates, and pay the insurances, and pay the gardener. But that can't be done until the money's in the account. Now, sometimes that could take up to a month before you get your money. And in the event that the tenant doesn't pay, I've had situations where I've had to chase money. In fact, I've had to go back to the landlord to actually get paid because there was no money in the account because the tenant didn't pay. So real estate, you know, when you're starting out, just be careful of the traps with real estate agents. There's plentiful work. Look, don't get me wrong. There's lots of work, and when you're starting out, I took a lot of real estate on, but you know, I soon learnt that it wasn't for me. And the last one is schools. Now, I think schools is very similar to the commercial properties, especially the office type complex. Schools are very profitable, and if you can get in, I had a school for 25 years. So I was really lucky that I held on it for that long. The thing is with schools, you're virtually your own boss. The facility manager will set you up. There might be a little extra task now and again, but generally you just run along at your own pace. Mow the ovals during lunchtime or during before, you know, the breaks when they're in classrooms. The drawbacks, of course, with the schools is, you know, you're subject to you know, classrooms and making noise, and this is where batteries come onto its own. Having battery hedges and how quiet they are, you can quietly go around trimming hedges near classrooms, and you're not interrupting anybody. I think that's just marvellous. Whereas where you had the petrol ones, there's no way known they'd let you work anywhere near the classrooms. You've got to have, you know, working with children licences and police checks, etc. Obviously the insurances. They'll also want safety procedures issued to them so that you're compliant with OH&S. The last school I did, I was up on the ladder and the facility manager says, "You got a ladder licence?" And I thought he was joking. He said, "I'm serious." He said, "You got to have a ladder licence." So I said, "All right, so where do I get a ladder licence?" He said, "Well, we'll organise that for you," which was good. It was just an occupational safety of how to use a ladder safely. But I did laugh when he said, "Have you got a ladder licence?" But anyway, it was all good. And the schools paid very well. They were virtually very similar to the commercial ones. And again, the schools are sort of on a, you know, long-term basis. Although they are very hard to get because a lot of big companies do all the ovals. You know, I know contractors that do 20, 30 school ovals, and that's all they do. So to get a school as a standalone, it is hard because a lot of them have their own grounds people. The school I got, I convinced the school that I would be cheaper by the time they paid out their superannuation and holiday pay and replacement of staff and work cover and all those things. I said, we'll come in more effectively and we'll do a better job. And that won it to me. And, you know, we just applied price rises for the 25 years and did quite well out of it. So in a nutshell, there's your three other opportunities to make money for your business. The real estate and the body corps. For new players, just keep your eyes wide open. Just be aware of the problems and the pitfalls because they will come and bite you if you're not aware of them. They could be worthwhile too. If you get the right one, if you can get the right body corp, if you get the right real estate, it can be fantastic. Lucky Jeff? Well, I wasn't lucky. I could not achieve the perfect customer of those, and I found them more in the residential and commercial, but that's not to say not to try it. You've always got to try something new in business. You've always got to try moving forward. And by looking at opportunities, that's one thing that you could have a look at. Viewers, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and love to hear your thoughts about real estate agents and body corps. What sort of experience have you guys had? Have you had it trouble-free, or have you made plenty of money out of it? Or have you had similar experiences to me? See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.